the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Group 7 students of the Problem Solving Workshop, Class of 2021, presents Strengthening Our Economy Using a Simple Home Grow Box Garden. Hi, my name is Suresh Singh, and this video presentation you are about to watch is a training done not only but mainly for the Couva, California community to get started with their very own selected home grow box garden. This study was done by 8 of the top future graduates of the University of Trinidad and Tobago. So sit back, relax, and take in a great video presentation that will have you and the country saving money within a short space of time.
Everybody, my name is Nicholas Joseph, and I'll be talking about the purpose of this project. So some of you may know and some may not, but the importation of crops and vegetables in Trinidad and Tobago is becoming very costly for the government. There has also been a spike in the cost of locally grown vegetables being sold due to the government's attempt of cutting back on the food import expenses. So the purpose of this project is to make an attempt at assisting the government on reducing the food importation bill. And we're going to do this by educating the members of the Couva, California community on our grow box idea. With this grow box, individuals will be able to plant their own crops at home without the worry of having land or space to plant. By individuals planting their own crops at home, this would therefore 1. Reduce the demand for these crops to be imported, therefore reducing the food import expenses. 2. Allow individuals to save money. And 3. Encourage individuals to eat healthier. So stay tuned for the rest of our video, where you will learn a lot more about the food importation bill, how you can construct your own grow box at home, and a lot more.
My name is Shakil Samad, and I'll be presenting on the food import bill. The Food and Agriculture Organization states high import bill puts pressure on already stressed Caribbean national budgets through the need for increased foreign exchange to purchase imports and the fact that higher food prices also require increased social protection programs. In 2015, Trinidad and Tobago spent approximately $570.1 million on food imports, while in 2017 there was a 57.1% increase in imports with a figure of approximately $1 billion. Later in 2019, the food import bill was 5 times that of 2017 at approximately $567 billion. According to the Trinidad Guardian, Trinidad and Tobago spent approximately $1.1 billion on fruits and vegetables in 2020, which accounted for approximately 45% of all food imports. Based on an analysis by the Oxford Business Group, Trinidad and Tobago meet a lot of domestic food needs through importation. This pattern was due to the country's intensification of oil wealth and investment. As such, the country put very little as it related to technological investments to the agriculture sector. Furthermore, since agriculture is viewed as small scale, it currently only employs 3% of the population and contributes under 1% to the GDP. According to local farmers, one of the challenges faced is the competitive prices from foreign imports. Many initiatives have been proposed or introduced to the domestic agriculture to greater heights, but to little avail. One of the major infrastructural failings in the domestic agricultural sector is that there is not enough average under protection. One contributor to this issue is the inability of some farmers to acquire plots of their own land. Following COVID-19's blow to the economy of Trinidad, who is dependent on oil, experts at the University of the West Indies have urged the country to invest more in ensuring regional food security. According to Mr. Ganvat, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Food and Agriculture at the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus, to strengthen regional food security, he is calling on the region to make greater investment in growing its own food to ensure food security is not dependent on external countries and reduce the food import bill to accommodate the economic fallouts of COVID-19.
Hi everyone, my name is Barry Balaraj, and today I will be talking to you about the research methodology that was used in order to gather information for our project. In conducting this project, we, the members of the Couva, California group, used both primary and secondary sources of information because it gave us a wider understanding and greater knowledge of the Food Importation Bill of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the skills and strategies that we may need to possess in order to grow our own crops at home. When conducting our primary research, we focused mainly on interviews and the distribution of questionnaires. We had a total of 3 interviews conducted. The first was done with an agri-shop owner from the community of California, where he told us about the different types of crops that were available to purchase for people who were interested in growing their own gardens at home. The second was done with a soil vendor from the community of Couva, where he told us about the suitability of different types of soil for different crops. And the third interview was done with a representative from the Ministry of Agriculture in Chaguanas. When distributing our questionnaires, our sample size was 40, where each member from our group handed out 5 questionnaires each. Now, from this questionnaire, we gathered information such as the demographic of our sample, and it also told us the types of crops that were preferred by people who were living in the community. For our secondary sources of information, we used online sources like, for example, the Ministry of Agriculture website and other third-party sites that were necessary. And that brings us to the end of the methodology.
Hello, my name is Vern Arjun, and today I'll be discussing what is a home garden and how a home garden can benefit you and your family. So to begin with, a home garden is where you take any vacant space, preferably outside your home, and transform that space into a productive and functional area in which plants that you can later harvest will grow. There's no real definition of what a home garden is or how it should look. However, there are many variations of home gardens based on different vacant species available, different climates, as well as different crops that you would like to harvest. This can result in home gardens or grow boxes being either horizontal or vertical. Either way would be fine, as you would still have the same end product, which is your crops that you will later harvest. Now, some reasons why you and your family can benefit from having a home garden can be better health. Now, in terms of better health, a grow box can help you and your family, as now you will become the supplier or the farmer, if you will, so you would no longer have to worry about contaminated vegetables or whether or not your food has too many chemicals or pesticides. In other words, your garden can produce all natural fruits and vegetables. Another problem that can be addressed by a home garden can be food wastage. Now, food wastage is an important problem that will be addressed by a home garden. Now, for some context, if vegetables is needed for a home-cooked meal, then someone would have to go to the market or the supermarket to get such vegetables. Instances like that can result in average household spending being approximately $600 per month on foods. Now, this can result in vegetables being spoiled if they are bought on deals or if they want to market or the supermarket shelves for too long. Now, all of these problems can be corrected by a home garden. As a home garden, now you would produce your food in front of your eyes and it will be readily available whenever you feel like it. Another reason why you should invest in a home garden can be to save money and energy. Now, as mentioned before, Trinidad and Tobago is facing a high import bill on foods. Now, a grow box can help reduce that bill because the supply for fruits or vegetables will now be in your own hands. You would no longer have to worry about the high price that comes with vegetables that are imported. With the home garden, your food is practically free, and if you desire, you can start your own business by selling your harvest to your communities or your neighborhood. Now, in conclusion, I hope that you think about the advantages of having a home garden or grow box, and I hope that you can make a step forward to make Trinidad and Tobago a cleaner and healthier
Wendy, my name is Stefan Turbini, and today I'll be talking to you about the type of crops used in our grow box design. From the results we tallied from the 40 questionnaires that were randomly distributed throughout our community, from the 16 crops listed, 8 were mostly children. From the 8 crops, hot peppers, pimento peppers, tomatoes, and baigans were chosen to be the mostly selected crops. The crops were listed to be the mostly used in the everyday cooking. Hot peppers was the #1 chosen crop. Hot peppers can be sold for $2 for one at times. Prices may vary on its availability. Most hot pepper plants mature in 60 to 90 days. A hot pepper plant can be harvested multiple times over time, producing about 25 to 35 pods per picking. By doing this, you can save $20 to $15 per picking. Pimento peppers were the second chosen crop. Pimento sell at times 20 for $5. One tree bears about 100 to 150 pimento peppers, depending on its size and maintenance done on the plant. Pimento peppers can be harvested approximately 80 days after transplanting. By planting a pimento tree, you can save $100 from one tree. Tomatoes was the thirdly chosen crop. Tomatoes can be sold from $10 to $20 per pound. These prices can fluctuate at times. Generally, we get 15 to 20 tomatoes from one single plant. Its weight depends on its size. Average one plant can get 4 pounds of tomatoes. Tomatoes require 50 to 60 days to reach its harvest time. You can save $20 from one tomato plant every 2 months. Baigan was chosen to be the fourth most chosen crop. Baigan average cost is 4 to 6 pounds for $20. 4 to 6 baigan per plant, which can weigh 10 to 12 pounds, depends on the size. Harvest time for baigan is 65 to 85 days after transplanting. You can save $40 from one baigan plant. Cabbage, lettuce, broccoli, and sweet pepper were chosen to be the secondly mostly chosen crop by most residents. Cabbage, you can get one cabbage from one plant. Cabbage normally sells for $10 to $12 per pound. The average weight of one cabbage is 2 pounds depending on its size. Cabbage is ready to be harvested in 80 to 180 days. You can save an average of $20 per cabbage plant. Lettuce. Lettuce sells from $8 to $10 for one. Lettuce grows fairly quickly and can reach its maturity in 8 to 30 days and can be harvested as soon as it reaches its ideal size. Broccoli. Broccoli is sold for $25 a pound. Grown from transplanting, broccoli can reach its harvest date in 55 to 80 days. Broccoli plants can be harvested 2 to 3 times for a period of up to 3 months. The first picking produces a large center head, which average weight is 1 to 2 pounds. You can save $25 to $50 per picking. Sweet peppers. These are sold $5 each depending on the size, and sometimes sold by pound from $5 to $10 per pound. Most sweet peppers mature in 60 to 90 days. On average, the hot pepper yields 8 to 12 peppers per plant. You can save $50 from one plant.
Now we'll get to the design of the elevated container planter. So to create this grow box, you're going to need a couple of pieces of wood that can be salvaged from used pallets, used crates, if you simply have a couple of pieces of home already. The next thing you're going to need is 3 empty oil containers that can be found at any food outlets. Lastly, some basic home tools, either simple hand tools, or if you have power tools, you can use it. Just remember, safety So your first step, measure the length of your oil containers and cut them in half. When you cut them in half, this is what you should expect. The next step, measure off your pieces of wood to the desired length and cut them. The desired lengths are 2 pieces at 19 3/4, 2 pieces at 21 1/4, 4 pieces at 24 inches, 3 pieces at 27 1/2 inches, and 2 pieces at 29 inches. What you're going to need to do, take your 2 pieces at 29 inches, space them out, and your 2 pieces at 19 3/4, you put them to the side, creating a box pattern. Now you're going to take one of your piece of 27 1/4 and place it to the middle. At this stage, your choice, either you're using nails and hammer or you're screwing it up. Now that you have attached the pieces together and you end up with this, you're going to use the 4 pieces at 24 inches and place them on the shorter side of the frame, 2 on this side and the next 2 on this side. Now that the legs have been attached to the frame, next step you're going to move is attaching the support pieces. Your first step is marking off a measurement of 8 inches on each one of your posts. Next, you want to attach the 2 pieces that are 21 1/4 directly under the line that you have made. One on this side, one on the opposite side. Having attached this, you're going to measure 5 inches from the end to inside, each 4 corners, and you're going to attach this to the underneath. Your attached support pieces should now look like this. Your next step, it is recommended that you paint the entire stand with an oil-based paint to give additional weather protection. Finally, you take your cut pieces and you just simply place them inside 1, 2, 3 and fill the frame. After completing all the steps, this is what a final product should now look like. Lastly, you're going to want to drill or cut a couple of holes in each one of the container base to drain off any excess water. And there is your final elevated container.
I'm Adela Graham, and I'm here to discuss with you plant nutrition and plant management. So, the base of our grow box, we have soil, and soil is an important part of plant nutrition. So with our soil, we wouldn't want anything from our yard, like a debate in our yard. We want a blend of organic mixture and a potting soil. For example, this grow box has potting soil mix, Pro Mix, which is a brand, sharp sand, as well as manure, and we mixed it together to form the base for supplication of nutrition in our grow box. Right? Important thing to note as well is that we do not want to compact the soil. We want aerated soil. So loosely fill your grow box with the soil and observe, and it would provide the nutritional value that your plant needs. Moving on, we will discuss plant management. So with plant management, what you would like to do firstly is observe your grow box. Every day, daily, come to your grow box and observe what is happening. Water it as needed. And I say water as needed because some crops may not need water daily, as well as other crops may need water several times for the entirety of the day. You would also like to fertilize your grow box regularly. This would help for for supplication of nutrients again, as well to help your crop flourish, right? One thing to note with fertilization is dry season and the wet season. And I say this because with wet season, what you would like to do is apply your fertilizer dry, like a dry salt. For example, I use Nutramex with my grow box, so I would apply it dry as is if it's in the wet season. Currently we are in dry season, so what you would like to do is that you would like to mix or dissolve your fertilizer as instructed by the brand that you're using, and you would just like to spray your fertilizer and wet it because it's dry season. Lastly, we'd like to talk about pest control, pesticides and insecticides. So observe if your plants have a disease or pest. So for example, if you look, you would see on our plant, on our crop here, there are signs of pest, and you would also see there are also scythe in our grow box. So scythe is a natural pest control along with wood, garlic, neem and marigold. Those are natural pest control. That is if you are against using insecticides and pesticides. However, if you have no problem with pesticides and insecticides, purchase it and just use it based on the instructions that the brand has given you. Try not to deviate from the instructions, as that could wilt or even cause damage or even cause your plants to die. Thank you so much, and that is all for plant nutrition and plant management.
Hi everyone, my name is Videsh Hari Singh and I will be speaking to you on the final aspect of our presentation, which is maintaining the grow box as well as areas for future design and improvement. To begin with, we have the wooden frame of our grow box, which can be maintained by using paint or varnish for protection. If you know that the wooden frame will be troubled by termites on various insects, you can use pesticide treatment or wood preservatives, which can be acquired at your local agri shop or chemical store. If your plant starts to grow tall, you can add support braces to the frame to keep your plant upright. For future improvements to this design, you can build the frame out of sea purling, galvanized pipe or steel. If you do not have the required skill set possessed to make this design, you can either consult a welder or a machine shop for information on how to proceed. We have come to the end of our presentation. I would like to say a special thanks to you, the viewers, for your time in watching our presentation. We hope that it was worthwhile and informative, and encouraging you to start your very own grow box home garden. So don't delay and spread the word that planting is the way to go forward for a more sustainable country, a more sustainable world, and most importantly, a more sustainable you.
Thank you.